Fade in softly. Close your eyes gently and imagine a city held in time, where sunlit stones sleep beneath a quietly watching mountain. This is Pompeii, a place where moments paused, waiting patiently in the ashes' embrace. Feel the cool stone beneath you, the faint rustle of ancient leaves, and the soft, warm light filtering through olive branches. Here, life moved slowly, in unhurried rhythms, and every breath was a story whispered by stone and shadow. As you breathe slowly, let the quiet stir your senses, and prepare your mind for a journey not of battles or thunder, but of soft mornings and simple days, folded gently inside time's everlasting calm. Daily life immersion. Dawn spills its muted gold over Pompeii's rooftops, each tile catching light like scattered embers. The air, just cool enough to nip the skin, carries a faint blend of baking bread, fresh olives, and distant smoke from hearth fires. Imagine yourself stepping from a small house, its walls whitewashed and textured by centuries of sun and rain. You feel the rough basalt beneath sandal soles, smooth yet worn. The street hums quietly. Footsteps, a low murmur of awakening voices, and the faintest sound of water splashing at the fountain nearby. A woman sweeps her small courtyard with a gentle rhythm, each brushstroke soft as rainfall on stone. Children's laughter bubbles from an open doorway, bright and ringing, mingling with the gentle clatter of pots. A baker pushes open his wooden door, cloth covering bowls of dough that rise like silent breaths. Warmth escapes from his oven, lying in golden waves through the air. He hums a quiet tune, tempered by years and morning peace. Around you, the city stirs not in haste, but in careful practice. Potters shape clay with tender hands, spinning soft circles on wheels. Vendors open baskets, their goods spilling colors and scents. Saffron yellows, deep purples, spices sharp and sweet. This is a place of gentle rituals, where the rhythm of days unfolds in soft patterns, and even the wind seems to speak in lowered tones. Take in the scent of crushed herbs, thyme and bay leaf, mingling with earth, grapes, and olive oil. Hear the soft cooing of pigeons settling on the terracotta roofs. See the light flicker on painted frescoes, telling stories of gods, heroes, and the everyday souls who lived here. Time flows differently in Pompeii, not rushing forward but curling back, folding moments into one another like pages in an ancient beloved book. Breathe with that rhythm now. Feel your body soften, your mind descend into calm. As the sun rises slowly, so does the city. Tall shadows lengthen, and life wakes in its timeless, untroubled way. You walk slowly past stone fountains, touching the cool, smooth edges. Children chase each other across dusty courtyards, their footsteps a soft percussion beneath your own. Nearby, a potter lifts a freshly shaped vase from the wheel, his hands steady, practiced, the clay warm and pliant. You watch the glaze catch sunlight, tiny cracks like whispers etched across its surface. A distant flute plays, notes floating, catching in the breeze. The soft murmur of familiar voices drifts from open windows. Here in Pompeii, life's quiet moments stretch out long and easy to lull you gently into rest. Pause now and take one more deep breath. Feel the weight of the morning sun, the softness of cool stone beneath your feet, and the slow pulse of a city held forever in stillness. As the sun climbs higher over Pompeii's terracotta roofs, the city's heartbeat grows warmer and deeper. The market stalls come alive with color and life, vendors arranging their goods with careful hands. Imagine walking down Via dell'Abbondanza, the town's main street, lined on both sides with shops displaying vibrant wares. The scent of freshly baked panis weaves through the air, mingling with spicy aromas from herb stalls and the salty tang of nearby sea breeze. A fishmonger unwraps nets heavy with silver-scaled fish, his hands wet and steady as he arranges his catch on ice. Nearby, ladies in linen stolas pause to choose olives, dark, glossy fruit, preserved in brine, bursting with flavor. You hear the soft clink of amphorae as oil and wine are moved carefully, the deep thud of wooden carts rolling over cobblestone. Children dart between legs, laughter trailing their quick steps, their games woven seamlessly into the fabric of daily work. Old men sit beneath porticos, speaking in low tones about politics and gods, while freedmen barter noisily over prices and goods. A potter's wheel spins steadily, hands shape clay into vessels that will hold family meals, their surfaces smooth and cool under his practiced touch. Shadows lengthen slightly as midday approaches, the heat wrapping around you like a soft blanket. The fountain's splash becomes a soothing metronome to the city's quiet hustle. In the background, you catch fragments of conversation. A merchant bargaining for spices from distant lands, a woman praising the skill of a seamstress who dyed fabric violet, and children stopping at a street performer's mimicry act, their wide eyes reflecting flickering torchlight. Slowly, your senses absorb the vivid textures, the gritty dust on stone steps, the polished wood of door frames beneath flowering vines, the faded frescoes narrating tales of gods and heroes. And yet, beneath all this vibrant, ordinary life, there is a delicate balance, nature's quiet warning whispered in the rumbling earth, a sleeping giant watching silently from its volcanic throne. But for now, embrace this calm, this alive stillness. Step gently through the marketplace, tasting a moment suspended, where history folds softly into the present and the rhythm of Pompeii's days beats quietly in your chest. Let the scene linger as you take a deep breath and prepare to travel further into the soft heart of this ancient world. By mid-morning, Pompeii is alive with quiet energy. The sun washes over mosaic floors, glinting beneath open courtyards. Families begin their daily tasks in homes shaded by vine-draped pergolas, while neighbors exchange soft greetings over low walls. Imagine standing at a busy street corner where the voices of merchants and townsfolk mingle in gentle harmony. A blacksmith hammering slowly rides the rhythm of the iron. The distant bark of a dog and the murmur of water from aqueducts blend seamlessly. Children, their small feet dusty, chase each other down alleyways, their laughter like bright notes against the stone canvas of the city. A woman carries a basket of grapes, the grapes plump and heavy, their scent sweet and tangy in the warm air. You walk quietly into a bathhouse courtyard, where men and women alike come to cleanse and relax under open skies. The tiled pool reflects the cloudless sky, calm and cool. You hear the soft splash of water as bathers move gently, while conversations drift like whispers through colonnades. Nearby, a scribe copies letters with careful fingers, his ink-stained hands pausing to consider the painstaking art of every stroke. A potter finishes a vase, the glaze shimmering with sunset colors. The smell of fresh bread from nearby ovens mixes with the earthy aroma of damp stone. A woman in a simple tunic astutely watches her young children playing at the fountain, occasionally calling gently for them to come back. Time feels easy here, not hurried, but flowing like a lazy river. Market stalls fold as the day warms. Townsfolk retreat into shaded homes or public spaces, sharing quiet meals of olives, cheese, and fish, their voices low, the world hushed beneath a midday sun. As afternoon drifts ahead, you notice the subtle rituals the city performs. A man watering his garden, the soft spread of herbs growing wild, the careful placement of flowers at household shrines, a silent moment spent watching smoke from a small oil lamp spiral upward. Every sound, scent, and movement is part of Pompeii's slow song. A city breathing with a heartbeat that is soft and steady, inviting you to linger, to remember, to rest. Pause now and listen. In the quiet hum of daily life, you find peace, as enduring as the stones beneath your feet. As afternoon leans gently into evening, Pompeii's pace softens. The vibrant bustle of the market fades into quiet shadows beneath archways. Families retreat to vine-covered courtyards, the scent of figs and flowers filling warm air. Imagine yourself entering a humble villa, where sun-warmed frescoes trace tales of gods and everyday lives. You feel the cool marble underfoot, worn smooth by generations. A servant moves silently, her footsteps light on mosaic tiles patterned with geometric grace. Soft voices echo through the shaded rooms. A mother braids her daughter's hair, the gentle rhythm of fingers weaving consistency and care. Nearby, elders sip watered wine, their conversations slow and thoughtful, blending ancient wisdom with simple domestic warmth. Outside, the garden hums with crickets and the soft rustle of leaves. A dog dozes, tail twitching lightly, while children play shadow games near olive trees. Light filters low and golden. Your breath slows with the city's quiet ease. The day unwinds in gentle circles, and the stillness of evening seems to fold time itself, inviting rest beneath Pompeii's timeless sky. Pause now and feel the deep calm, the soft embrace of a city forever held in peaceful stillness. Biography or historical event. The year is AD 79 in Pompeii, and the city hums softly beneath the ever-watchful shadow of Mount Vesuvius. Lucius, a middle-class olive oil merchant, stirs awake in his modest yet comfortable domus. His bed creaks softly, the mattress of straw and wool giving gentle support, a refuge from the warm day ahead. Frescoed walls in hues of ochre and deep red surround him, depicting mythic creatures and stories of old, wrapping his small room in timeless art. He rises, feeling the cool touch of marble beneath his feet, contrasting with the warmth of his wool blanket. Lucius approaches the small household shrine, where smooth marble figurines stand as silent guardians of the family. With a soft murmur, he offers a prayer for protection, placing a piece of bread on the altar, a daily ritual linking the mortal with the divine. The gentle trickle of water from the impluvium fills the room, a calming reminder of the elements always present in Roman life. Outside, the streets begin to stir. Sandals shuffle over basalt stone, wooden carts creak as they roll down narrow lanes. Vendors call softly, making their wares known, the fresh aroma of baked bread meeting the salty breeze from the nearby sea. Lucius dresses in a simple tunic, the fabric soft against his skin, and steps outside. His neighbors nod in greeting, familiar faces etched in the sunlight. At the market, the vibrant colors of goods spill from stalls, plump figs, sharp spices, barrels of wine and oil carefully stacked. A young noblewoman named Flavia arrives, her flowing stola brushing the cobblestone, eyes appraising the olive oil jars arranged by Lucius. Their exchange is calm, respectful, each word measured, a dance of civility and commerce under Pompeii's gentle sun. As the marketplace buzzes quietly, Lucius's thoughts drift. Despite the daily routine, an undercurrent of unease lingers. The ground sometimes trembles faintly, whispers of an ancient mountain stirring nearby. But for now, life moves in peaceful cycles, a city alive yet held in delicate balance. This is the rhythm of Pompeii, through the eyes of one man, a story of steady days, quiet prayers, simple joys beneath volcanic skies. Pause and breathe as Lucius does, feeling the pulse of a city timeless and soft. Lucius returns home as late afternoon paints the sun in softer hues. His modest domus welcomes him with cool shadows and the scent of blooming jasmine from the garden. Imagine him stepping through the ornate wooden door carved with delicate patterns. The floor beneath his feet cool marble, worn smooth by countless footsteps. Inside, his wife Amelia tends to the small hearth, where the last embers glow faintly. The air is warm, with the faint aroma of herbs steeping in water for evening tea. Their son Tiberius sits nearby, tracing figures in the dust with small fingers, his youthful laughter filling the quiet room like soft music. Lucius unfolds his tunic, loosening the belt after the day's labors, and settles into a woven chair beneath a fresco's illustration of Bacchus, god of wine and festivity. The family shares a simple meal: fresh bread, olives, salted fish, and watered wine served in clay goblets. Their conversation is low, rich with day-to-day details and gentle affection. Outside, the marketplace fades into twilight. The noises soften: footsteps, whispering voices, the occasional bark of a dog. Lucius's thoughts drift toward the distant mountain, silent and watchful, a slow reminder of nature's hidden power beneath the calm. Evening rituals follow. Emilia lighting small clay lamps near the household altar, prayers whispered softly for safety, health, and peace. Lucius touches the smooth figurines of the Lares, hoping the spirits protect them through the night. The day closes in a cocoon of warm stone and quiet shadows. Lucius leans back, breath slow, heart steady, content yet aware of the fragile beauty cradling their lives. Pause. Breathe with Lucius. Feel the stillness, the soft pulse of an ancient life slowly winding to rest. Evening descends upon Pompeii, casting long shadows over its mosaic floors and vine-draped courtyards. Lucius and his family gather in their small garden, the Hortus, a quiet sanctuary from the day's bustle. A marble basin reflects the fading light, the soft trickle of water creating a gentle soundtrack. Imagine the smell of herbs, rosemary, thyme, and bay leaf, mingling with blooming jasmine. Crickets begin their chorus as the air cools, and a dog rests peacefully under olive trees. Lucius leans back on a stone bench, watching the sky bleed its last colors of dusk. His wife, Emilia, hums quietly while tidying the area, her fingers lightly brushing the leaves. The soft glow of oil lamps flickers through the open windows of nearby homes, casting dancing shadows onto the frescoed walls. The day winds down with quiet conversation and shared meals. Tonight, stories will be exchanged of gods and heroes, of daily routines, and of a city that lives in the breath between sun and stars. Lucius's thoughts drift to the future, unknown yet quietly awaited, as Pompeii sleeps beneath the mountain's watchful eye, held in a timeless embrace. Pause now. Breathe deeply with the calm night, and let the gentle closing of this day lull you further into rest. Night softly falls over Pompeii, and the city slowly settles into a gentle hush. Lucius and his family gather indoors, where oil lamps flicker against frescoed walls, casting warm, dancing shadows across the room. The day's labors have ended, and the aroma of roasted figs and fresh bread fills the air. Lucius leans back in his wooden chair, the surface smooth with years of use. Emilia quietly tends to their son, Tiberius, helping him prepare for rest. The family's meal is modest yet satisfying: lentils simmered with herbs, olives, and fish preserved in salt. Conversation is soft, words slow and thoughtful, filled with quiet gratitude for the day's peace. Outside, the soft sound of the sea drifts through open windows, mingling with distant voices of neighbors settling in for the night. The warm night air carries scents of jasmine and crushed pine, soothing and familiar. Lucius looks once more toward Vesuvius, now a dark silhouette against the star-studded sky. Though calm now, there is a silent watchfulness in the mountain's presence, a reminder that beneath the beauty lies an ancient power, waiting. With a final sip of watered wine, the family prepares for sleep, their breaths slow and synchronized in the stillness. The city rests with them, cradled in the soft embrace of night, safe, timeless, for a moment at least. Breathe deeply now. Feel the quiet peace settle over Pompeii. Let your mind drift gently, as the city does, into calm. Cultural deep dive. As dawn arrives again over Pompeii, the city's temples begin to stir with quiet preparation. The air holds a faint aroma of incense and burnt herbs, whispers of ancient rituals carried softly on the breeze. Imagine yourself approaching the grand temple of Jupiter, where worn marble columns reach toward the pale morning sky. The massive stone steps bear the gentle tread of priests in white woolen robes. A silver vessel in the hands of an elder priest catches the early light. Water is sprinkled upon the altar, a simple act performed with meditative grace. The sound of dripping water mixes with the chant-like murmur of prayers, neither hurried nor exuberant, a rhythm of devotion repeating quietly. Around the temple, townsfolk glide through their solemn duties. Offerings of olive branches, small clay lamps flickering with faint flames, and figs gathered from the sacred groves, all symbols of gratitude and hope. You note a woman, her voice a hushed prayer for a safe journey for her absent son, and a craftsman who silently asks the gods for favor in his trade. The temple bells chime, soft as a breeze, echoing gently over the town square. Even the birds seem to still, their wings pausing in mid-flight. Further on, the temple of Venus beckons, the goddess of love and fortune, watching serenely from her marble throne. Murals in greens and reds shimmer faintly in the softened dawn light, while a young couple kneels in silent reverence. The ritual smoke curls slowly, weaving through arches and columns, wrapping the temple in a timeless embrace of faith and quiet mystery. Imagine now walking away down a narrower street, lined with small shops and quiet homes, until the sound of everyday life fades. Here stands the Temple of Isis, smaller and shadowed, painted with lotus flowers and Egyptian suns. Inside, soft lamps flicker and hushed prayers echo through the halls, voices rising in whispered devotion to a goddess whose name traveled far by sea. Flowers grace small altars, milk is poured delicately, and the air hums with a sacred intimacy, a quiet sanctuary within a bustling city. Outside, soaked stone steps shine beneath the rising sun. The city's faith is layered and woven. Jupiter beside Venus, Isis alongside Mercury, household gods dwelling with earth and fire, a network of beliefs, tender and enduring. Soon, the city will gather for the feast of Vulcan, celebrating fire's blessing and destruction. You sense the anticipation, the garlands, the clay offerings prepared for flames, and the slow, certain pulse of a city living in cycles, held forever in the breath of devotion and time. Pause now. Breathe with the rhythm of rituals and feel the sacred stillness settle softly over Pompeii. The day climbs onward, and Pompeii's sacred spaces expand in memory as much as in stone. In the shade of colonnades, the city's artisans set down their wares with careful patience, as if the mere presence of temple walls lends them a soft, protective calm. Imagine stepping along a slim corridor flanked by painted panels showing ritual scenes where saffron banners swirl and priests move with measured steps. The air holds the faintest trace of wax, resin, and the scent of olives pressed for oil. A hush settles over benches where scholars and temple attendants discuss offerings and timings, their voices low, almost as if they are listening to the world's slow heartbeat. At the Temple of Isis, you notice the way the light falls in a rectangular patch across the floor, illuminating a votive statue of the goddess. A priest performs purification rites with water and perfume, and the scent of myrrh rises in soft waves that drift toward the ceiling. Worshippers' hands move in silent choreography, arranging flowers and small jars as signs of reverence. When the prayers end, a gentle procession begins toward the courtyard where a shallow pool lies like a mirror. Reflections ripple with each careful step, capturing the faces of onlookers momentarily before settling again. A chorus of whispers accompanies the ritual, a language of calm that circles the space rather than shouting into it. Even in these solemn moments, the city remains a community. Merchants, priests, and families sharing quiet glances and brief nods of recognition. The everyday world and the sacred world coexist in this place, each giving depth to the other. As afternoon becomes evening, scent and sound soften further. A loom's rhythmic clack competes softly with distant chisel taps from a sculptor's workshop. A small boy, perhaps a nephew of a temple worker, tucks a scrap of cloth into his belt and smiles modestly, learning the patient art of waiting as the day winds down. The sun sinks toward the sea, casting a gentle amber glow across the forum's stones. Scrolls are closed, lamps lit, and the market's light begins to vanish into the tones of dusk. In this twilight, the people of Pompeii carry on with quiet dignity, holding to ritual and routine as a way to make sense of a world that remains larger than any one person. As dusk deepens, the sacred ceremonies of Pompeii take on a gentler, more intimate tone. Candles flicker in small household shrines, and soft chants filter from distant temple courtyards. Imagine the sounds of a vocal procession winding slowly through the town's cobbled streets. A rhythmic murmur of hymns dedicated to Vulcan, god of fire and forge. Garlands of flowers are draped carefully across doorways, while small clay offerings wait quietly to be cast into hearth flames. A craftsman pauses in shaping a bronze statue, the soft hammering replaced by the gentle breath of ritual. The air carries the faint scent of beeswax and burnt resin, mingling with pine and grapevine. Groups of friends gather, not in raucous festivity, but in shared, hushed celebration of life's cycles, birth, renewal, and quiet endurance. Imagine now the slow art of reflection as night wraps Pompeii in a warm embrace. Smoke rises from oil lamps, the flickering light a companion to whispered prayers and gentle thoughts. The rhythm is unhurried, a collective breath held between day and dream. Through open windows, the faint music of a lyre blends with the murmur of softly spoken stories. Children listen, eyes heavy with sleep, cradled by tales of gods who lived among mortals and heroes whose journeys carved paths in stone. This is Pompeii in the folds of night, a city breathing with quiet devotion, each shadow, each sound, a gentle testament to time standing still. As night fully embraces Pompeii, the gentle glow of private garden altars casts soft shadows. Imagine wandering into a quiet hortus where the family's faith intertwines with growing herbs and flowers. Here, Venus is not just a distant goddess, but a presence woven into the very soil. Stone statues, some chipped by time, stand as silent witnesses to prayers whispered at dusk. Imagine a gentle breeze carrying the scent of rosemary and myrtle, while the soft clink of a portable altar's small incense burner fills the air. Children play nearby, their laughter briefly mixing with the low murmur of women spinning wool, a humble task that shapes both economy and family ties. In this garden, the sacred and the everyday coexist. As women prepare cloth on looms beneath vines, men tend to fragrant herbs alongside statues of deities, and friends gather to exchange stories floating on the warm night air. Evenings soften further as music from a distant lyre accompanies soft conversations. The garden is a theatre of quiet devotion, a restful sanctuary from the sun's fierce reign. Picture the stars slowly kindling above as prayers rise and fall with the ebb and flow of gentle flames. Life here is measured by the cycles of nature and faith, woven seamlessly into the slow, deliberate rhythm of Pompeii's existence. And so the night deepens, with the garden holding its secrets and blessings close, a place where history breathes silently and time folds softly into peace. Life of the elite, social contrast. Morning light filters softly through the high windows of a grand Pompeian villa. Marble floors gleam underfoot, and frescoes of mythic tales and lush gardens adorn the walls. Here, the wealthy awaken slowly, surrounded by comforts that speak of leisure and status. Imagine the lady of the house, Livia, preparing in a cool, shadowed chamber. Her fingers glide over soft silk, arranging folds of dyed fabric as she prepares for the day. Outside, servants move quietly through the shaded colonnades, bringing fragrant oils, fresh water, and carefully prepared bread. The garden bursts with color and scent. Lemon trees heavy with fruit, climbing ivy, flowering vines. Birds chirp softly from their leafy perches as fountains ripple with cool water. Livia's morning ritual is slow and deliberate. She applies fragrant oil to her skin, breathing in the herbal aroma, and listens to the faint sound of lyre music drifting from the peristyle. Meanwhile, a young aristocrat practices philosophy in a nearby study, scrolls unrolled, candlelight flickering softly on his thoughtful face. The conversations here revolve around ideas of time, virtue, and the nature of the soul, far removed from the daily bustle of the market below. In the kitchen, cooks prepare delicacies, fresh fruit, salted fish, richly spiced breads, meant to nourish both body and spirit. The clatter of utensils is muffled by tapestries and thick rugs. Outside, the city moves at a different tempo. While merchants haggled and slaves toiled, the elite took refuge in quiet luxury, careful contemplation, and refined leisure. This is a life marked not by haste, but by reflection and ritual, where every object, sound, and scent holds meaning. A soft echo of time and tradition. The morning unfolds further inside the walls of Livia's villa, where the soft light plays on mosaics reflecting stories of gods and men. The air is thick with the scent of warm oil lamps and fresh flowers from the garden. Imagine the gentle murmur of servants as they move unseen, arranging cushions on marble benches, and preparing cool waters scented with herbs to refresh the lady of the house. Livia's day begins with soft rituals, hair smoothed and bound with delicate care, skin anointed with fragrant oils, and the slow unfolding of elaborate silk tunics, woven in shades mirroring the garden's blooms. Outside, the villa's open peristyle echoes with the light notes of a lyre, where philosophers discuss time and virtue in calm conversation, their voices mingling with the rustle of olive leaves in the breeze. In the dining hall, silver trays are laid out with richly spiced figs, fresh cheeses, honeyed cakes, and wines from Campania's fertile slopes. Guests gather quietly, their laughter never louder than a whisper, each moment wrapped in soft elegance and tranquil ease. The elite live with a measured grace, reflecting deeply on legacy and time, aware that their fleeting lives are but echoes of stone and story. The sun hangs low, casting a soft gold over the Villa of the Mysteries, one of Pompeii's grand suburban homes where luxury blends with mystery. Imagine walking through marble halls adorned with vibrant frescoes, each telling stories of divine rites and ancient cults. Within the residential quarters, the famous hall stretches wide, its walls alive with elaborate murals depicting the secret rites of Dionysus, god of wine, ecstasy, and transformation. Figures dance in vivid reds and deep blues, scenes pulsing with quiet power. The villa offers comfort and contemplation alike. Gardens bloom with roses and herbs, private baths cool the skin after midday heat, and patios overlook lush vineyards heavy with ripened fruit. Livia's household prepares for a small gathering of friends, their robes soft and richly colored, voices low and melodic. Philosophy and poetry mingle with the clink of wine cups, the conversation weaving through time and thought. Away from the market's noise and the city's pulse, the elite retreat into a slower rhythm where every object, from mosaics to silverware, reflects heritage and refined taste. Picture the subtle fragrances of incense and perfumed oils, sparking a deeper sense of peace beneath high ceilings, and open colonnades where gentle breezes cool the marble floors. The evening invites soft reflection, a quiet escape into art, conversation, and the promise of legacy. A world apart, yet gently connected to the heartbeat of Pompeii beyond. Night deepens over Pompeii's grand villas, and the air is thick with the soft glow of oil lamps and the scent of fragrant oils. Inside the richly decorated house of the Vecchia, the atmosphere is serene, yet alive with quiet conversation. Imagine walking through rooms where the floors are covered in intricate mosaics, each tile telling stories of myth and history underfoot. Walls are adorned with elaborate frescoes, their colors vivid even centuries later, depicting gods, heroes, and sensual scenes of Roman life. Livia reclines on a plush couch, draped with embroidered cushions, her fingers tracing the delicate threads of a finely woven shawl. Servants move silently, offering bowls of fresh fruit, nuts, and sweet wine. In the dining room, the aristocrats gather for a modest feast, their voices low, blending with the gentle strum of a lyre. Conversations range from the latest philosophical ideas to reminiscences of travels along the Mediterranean. Despite the apparent leisure, every moment is steeped in meaning and decorum. The elite reflect on legacy, mortality, and the passing of time, finding comfort in the permanence of art and ritual. Outside, the city sleeps quietly beneath stars that have witnessed centuries of stories. But within these walls, life pulses softly, a final glowing ember of a world soon to be frozen in time.